recognizing that she's not only the best pound-for-pound boxer, Ring Magazine champion, undisputed champion, undefeated champion, but also outside the ring, one of the most marketable athletes that I've ever met. So why don't we introduce and give one more big hand for Cecilia Braekhus. She made history on Cinco de Mayo on the Triple G show with an extremely high rating, and now headlining HBO. This was her 24th title defense. If she makes one more title defense, she'll tie the record of Joe Louis with the most title defenses in one division. So that's a historic achievement. And Cecilia, why don't you say a few words about fighting on HBO here at the StubHub Center, your second fight here in Los Angeles.
Yes, thank you to everybody who's for coming, for supporting me, for supporting my career. It's been such an amazing honor, and 2 fights on HBO, just like this, bam bam, after one. You know, it's overwhelming, and what I've been a part of today, I don't think it's possible for me to understand this right now. It has to give some time to really sink in. What I do know is that this is not only big for me, this will be a big deal for young girls. The next generations will look at this night and say, you know what, there was a woman, there was a girl headlining the last HBO show. Can you imagine that? I am so proud and so grateful for HBO to take this chance, and for Tom and 360 Promotion to finally, you know, just have the balls and back up the woman, and just, you know, just giving the promotion, just the support, and I hope this will continue, and we will see women boxing grow in the future. And all in all, it was a great night and amazing fights. I was very emotional in my fight, of course, because I really want to make a worthy ending for this historical run from HBO's boxing. But so I was chasing that knockout, and you know, when you're chasing the knockout, that's when it's harder to get the results you want. But I just hope that everybody here at the StubHub Center and everybody home was entertained, and looking forward to be back again.
And also Jonathan Banks is up here, her chief second, her trainer. Jonathan took over the training duties of Vladimir Klitschko, who was the best heavyweight champion, one of the longest reigns in heavyweight championship history. Now he's working with the best pound-for-pound female champion. Jonathan, why don't you say a few words on how significant this fight was for Cecilia's career?
I think every fight at this point for Cecilia is a significant fight, because she's walking on the path of what you can call, if you can say, greatness, because she's doing something for the first time. And anytime you're the first to do something, that's pretty much the hardest walk you'll see. Everybody else can eat off the plates that basically she's making, because she's the first to do it. So
is that why they call her the First Lady?
Right. That's why that's why she's the First Lady. You know, she's the first lady to be undisputed, first lady to be featured on HBO, first lady to be main event on HBO. So everybody that shoot for being undisputed after this, she's the first to do it. So for their jobs and their marketability will be a little bit easier. And I honestly believe the way she act, her lifestyle, what people see, is the blueprint on a well-marketed person. And I think that is key also in women boxing. And it's kind of a bittersweet night, because it's HBO's last show. They're about to get out of the boxing business. And thankful to the late great Emmanuel Stewart, I was able to be around Larry Merchant, Jim Lampley for many, many years even before I turned pro myself, because of Emmanuel was always commentating. He was always, everybody knew once he said Israel's calling, he about to head straight to the airport because he got to go do a broadcast. So it's a bittersweet night, and yet it's a big celebration because Israel has played such a major part in the lives of so many legendary fighters. I think that's Kevin Kelly back there, which is which is another awesome fighter that fought on HBO, and HBO has broke out plenty of stars in their long run at the top of the boxing game, and it's been a great pleasure to be a part of it.
Just want to know that JB has acknowledged Kevin Kelly. Kevin Kelly was my first fight on HBO when he won WBC featherweight championship against Goya Vargas in Reno, Nevada. I remember it like it was yesterday. It was 25 years, 4 days ago, December 1st, 1993. Kevin Kelly was undefeated, Goya Vargas undefeated. Went on to win the championship, defend it many times, had the historic fight against Nassim Hamed in Madison Square Garden, one of the most exciting fights you'll ever see in boxing. And we were proud to have Kevin here commentating the stream internationally, and so appreciate that. Why don't you give Kevin Kelly a hand here? With that, we can, now that Mike brought out all the hardware here, those are all hard-earned titles. We can open it up for questions for Cecilia or Jonathan. Mohammed.
Yes, that's a very impressive war chest over there. What do you plan to do from here?
Well, how can you top this? How can you do that? I don't know right now. We have to, this hasn't even sunk in, really, what this night is mean for us, mean for HBO, and means for all the fighters at the show, but also for the next generation of young girls. It's so many levels. I really need some time to really get to understand what I have been a part of. So when we have done that, we will, together with Tom, figure out the next steps. I saw Cyborg was in a ring, so maybe that would be one way to go. That is something I haven't done before. So, but right now I don't think we can. We don't have any plan. But HBO's last farewell. One door closed and another door open. So I'm excited to see what's happening next year.
How would you grade yourself in this fight?
Well, I got a little bit emotional because, this is a big deal. I'm a girl from Norway, from a country where professional boxing was banned since 1981 and just opened up for professional boxing. And suddenly, we are like 5-6 million people in whole of Norway, and suddenly I'm in LA, and the first women on an HBO headlining, and I don't know how many people are in LA, it's probably as many as in where I'm coming from. So this is a big deal for a girl. And what was your question again?
On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you grade yourself?
Ah, okay, thank you. Okay, I'm happy about the fight, but it was a little bit too emotional because I wanted to close off the fight with a knockout, for the whole HBO family. So I couldn't get that, but I hope I delivered an entertaining fight. It's pretty brutal to be a girl because one fight that maybe not, if that fight wouldn't have been good, you represent every girl, and it's pretty, it can be tough, because that you have to deliver it. If you don't deliver in a fight, it's suddenly the whole for all the women, you know, it's pretty tough. But I think I did good tonight. I think I delivered, and I had fun, and I just hope it was an entertaining fight, and yeah.
Cyborg was in the ring tonight. She was in attendance. She's fighting in Las Vegas the end of this year. If that's a fight that can be made next year, that would be a huge statement for women's combat sports. I wouldn't even say women's boxing, women's combat sports, having one of the most popular UFC fighters fighting the undisputed pound-for-pound boxing champion. That's in the prime of their careers. That's a huge statement. So that would be something, if it's possible, we'd certainly like to explore it. There's other champions out there, higher divisions, lower divisions that we can look to see. Right now, Cecilia would take some time off over the holidays, go back to Norway, and we'll kind of regroup and see what's in store for next year. Great thing about women's boxing is you see with the television exposure, it's definitely, you can feel, you know, with Katie Taylor out there and the Serrano sisters and Clarissa Shields, what she did today, opening up the telecast. Christina Hammer was there in the audience. You know, there's really a lot of outstanding female boxers. Maricela Corneo is here with us in the audience, and you know, just when the opportunities, like what Cecilia has done, when the opportunities present themselves, she'll inspire the next generation of girls to say, maybe that is something I can do in the ring. Like she said, professional boxing was banned in Norway for 35 years, and she single-handedly was the one to get that reinstated, because a world champion should be allowed to fight in their own home country, and that's she was the one why they changed the law, and now she's over here in the United States, her second fight, headlining HBO. It's a huge statement. So,
just a quick question. You mentioned Chris Cyborg and her potential next. Are you referring to a boxing bout or a mixed martial arts bout?
And that would be a boxing match, yeah. You know, it would be like a female version of Mayweather and McGregor. That is something that kind of tickles me a little bit. That's never been done. I like stuff that hasn't been done before.
And Cyborg has a tremendous stand-up game in UFC. So we'll all be watching her fight. Cecilia, because Cyborg came over here to support her or to watch her fight, Cecilia's thinking about going to Vegas to watch the Cyborg fight. And that fight's building a lot of momentum. Cyborg is one of the best stand-up fighters in the UFC, and you see how physically strong she is, and I think that could be a very interesting matchup. Coach Dave, do you have a question for the best female pound-for-pound fighter in the sport?
It's not even close, but the Cyborg fight would be. It would all make a lot of money.
Well, if we don't have any more questions, then we'll wrap up. Just want to acknowledge Cecilia, JB. Want to thank all of you for coming out, supporting the show. Really appreciate it.
And please give a round of applause.